This is day 514 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. If you'd like to sponsor our coming share or more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, please contact me directly. It'd be greatly appreciated. Today we're doing Siman Shin Yud Zayin Sif Kaf Ches. The Siman Shin Yud Ches Sif Vav. Kaf Ches. Kaf Ches? Yes, Kaf Ches. Mutter l'kshor chev al pnei Pesach shebehema medasham shlo tetzei. Allowed to tie a rope across the opening when an animal is standing in order that it should not go out. If you should come with a lumavato lohasing because you don't negate the rope there, sheikh should historically because since you're going to have to take the animal out, of course you're going to have to undo the rope. Fahim Darkula says, play on animals go out every day. Below not only this, Ella, I feel be a chotel l'kshor shnei chavon izel amal mizeh. We're allowed to tie two ropes, one on top of the other. One on top of the other. They're not concerned you might undo one and leave one tied and take it out as by squeezing it out. It says interesting. The reason we're not for that is because sometimes you untie one and sometimes the other. Back to Arukh HaShulchan. Below even if you're going to tie the rope on two sides of the door, we're not afraid that you might always undo one side of the door, and leave the other one tied. When the animal can nonetheless go out easily if you only undo one side. That's not concerned with that. Because people don't normally do that. We should not be rov yesh glossos. Because those times they're doors anyway. This is a rare occasion that it doesn't have doors, or naflu that they fell. Then it seems to have rock back crying. It's only done occasionally that way. It's like a milk to a barn, something which is not prevalent. Rabbanan do not take into account to forbid, and therefore it's okay. Chavtas avol, however, not allowed to tie a rope around the neck of the animal because and tie the other end at the trough where it's eating. In this case, it's very likely you're going to do one side and leave the other side tied up. You should circle I think this rope every day, so you might leave the rope always tied up to the trough and just undo the cow as it becomes necessary. But if it's a craftsman rope where you're both going undo both sides, I'm not sure exactly why. Mutter, that's permissive. We're not concerned that you might come to make a mistake with other rope, with another type of rope, such as with a bucket, where of course you will leave permanently. Because also there, it's not prevalent to leave it permanently. So therefore, although we asked it anyway, but that's enough. We're not going to take it further, which would be like a decree on top of a decree. But I feel also even where a generic rope is forbidden, it's the only way you're tying now both ends, one to the trough and one to the animal. But already it was tied one side onto the trough for beforehand. But you just want to tie it to the cow now. If it's tied to the cow, but it's you want to tie it onto the trough. It's okay, first of all, with any rope. We assume that whatever you tie at Shabbos, the side you're going to untie, not the other side. But clearly, Milsa Big Sharim, the general principle by knots, certainly Zoyla says they aniva. It's to always be careful by slip knot and mutlacholim, which missile no matter what. Yeshmini Sharim betables shall noshim. There are types of knots in women's jewelry boxes. Shak Sharim of these mamruah, where the knots remain for a long time. So here's Bizay, you have to be careful about that. The Chayes Bizay and things are similar to that. Shitak Sharim shall tzitzis also, and it's obviously now to tie tzitzis on Shabbos. Shin Yerches. Din Afia Ubishul Shchita, V'chol Minei Bishul. Halachos of baking and cooking and shchita and all types of cooking. We're going to be in this for a while. Bishul Avi'av Malacha. Bishul, his cooking is a primary category. But the Mishkan wasn't Mishkan. Bishul some money. They cook the herbs for the various different dyes and stuff like that. Tana of Mishnah, the Avos Malachos Chashiv Oifer. In the Mishnah of us Malachos, it lists Mishul as baking. I feel of a Mishkan, even though there was no baking in the Mishkan. But Lonakim Bashkach doesn't use cooking. Mishum, this Tidur the Pasnaki, because the Mishnah goes with the order of baking bread, and bread you bake and you don't cook. McLaren Nation skills around, and that's because the Mishnah begins with planting, so it continues on with kneading and baking. The halacha is no difference. The tolos mevashal aviafiyah. A derivative of cooking is anyway baking. Mevashal eitzel tolos, or somebody cooks by things which are heated up indirectly because of fire. Because there's no same base of beside mecha. So you put an egg next to an urn, sheitzel esh, which is by the fire. Shows the titzav tolos, or that it should be cooked by the derivative of the fire. In other words, by sitting on that next to that hot metal. Having a vash where it's much like cooking in the fire itself. And so to somebody who what's the word? Melts is a better word. But let's use melts because the words escape me right now. If you melt a type of metal, koshu, or mechamed is the type of somebody who heats metal until the point it becomes a coal. Raise the tolos mavashal chayv. These are derivatives of mavashal, and you're liable. Okay, a masis adorek, so to somebody who dissolves tallow wax. Oh, as a chalep, or fats, or as a zevis, or pitch, a kofer, different type of pitch, gofris, and sulfur, chayetzeben, etc. I raise the tolos mavashal chayv. These are derivatives of mavashal, and you're liable. Base the Gemara. Haiman the shadi sichtel atuna. Somebody who puts a tent peg into an oven, chay mishum vashel. You like because of vashel. Perish rash when the shlich yosei lach the tanur cham. You tossed a moist peg into a hot oven. Yabshol shiskash to dry and it's come hard. Hakosha. Round pair test in Zion. He gives a different shot. Somebody who cooks earthenware, actually has seches to the point it becomes pottery. Because of cooking. Zak cloud, this is Jerbetzel Bencha, Hirpa Guf Kashavesh, whether you soften a tough substance in the fire, or benchik shaguf rak, or harden a soft substance. Or the and quote from the Rambam. The Shamikel says that baking is a derivative of bishul. Okay, not so that. So to somebody who roasts, somebody who fries, somebody who cooks to an extreme extent. Vamash is somebody who smokes, such as meat and such like. Kulun chayim mishum vash all like because of vash. Yishami nedarim nisha b'safik mushan v'chab masha. Shabbos yishami nedarim is not sure if smoking is included with cooking for Shabbos. Ayin sham, see there. V'kam b'shitolei, here it's pushing that it is. Okay, that's the halacha. Abotah and vash b'cham Tveria, but somebody who cooks in the hot springs of Tveria, Tolodos Achama, which is derivative not of fire, but, well, actually that remains to be seen. And in derivatives of fire, derivatives of the sun, sorry. Avasho Chama, somebody cooks in the sun, love it plus Avasho, these are not derivative provisions of Avasho, Bisun Rabbanan, and only us the Rabbanan. Uvachama Mutter, and in the sun, it is permissible. As we shall see what exactly means dismissal when we get there. How much is the shear that you're liable for cooking or baking? You bake the size of a large date, you're chayav. A pass is true whether you're baking bread, whether you're cooking some ma'achol, the food, or some money, or the herbs, or mechamem, or you're heating water. They're all the same thing. Shir mechamem is samayim, and the shear of heating water is gdei aver katan, enough to wash a small limb. Shir mavas samayim, and the shear of cooking the herbs which they made the dyes, they should so low that to be suitable for the purpose in which they're cooking. Private Kosav, Rabbit gives a definition for that. Okay, it's well been baked cotton on peace vacha. to dye a small garment which you put at the edge of a woman's kerchief. Ein Shom. Lo Dan Lan Makor. You don't know the source of the rabbi on this. Because okay, must have written this based on his own logic. One person brought the fire, the other person brought the fuel. One person brought the pot. One person brings the water. One person brings the meat. One person brings the spices. All lie because of the bashal. Anybody does something which is necessary for cooking. I raise the bashal, it's cooking. And says like there, but some put the pot there first. And somebody else came and put the water there. Another person came and put the meat there. Another person came and put the spice there. And somebody else puts the fire there. Another person puts the wood on the fire. Another person comes and mixes. I'm sorry, Levad, Chaim Mishum, Mishbasha, Ad Kan Lashon. Only lasts to a Chaim because of Vacha. Question is why. Says the Shulchan. Beard Dvarav. What the Ram means to say is, also Kulam Bavasach. It's all did in one fell swoop. Barishon Yech, so the first person puts down the fire. The Kulam Beis Shemai so Sulam Malacha. And all at the time they're doing it in real time to the Malacha. Kulam Chayav. They're all liable in that case. The Vizor Rega should seem Allah Eish. At that point, the wood's put on the fire. Maskil Bishul, the Bishul starts. They're all liable because all their deeds come to fruition simultaneously. The person puts the fire. Came the regas doing the so at the same time, somebody else put down the wood. Have a kulam ma'isa achas always be one kulam ma'isa, but kulam chayim they're all liable. I will say b'shlosu b'yacha, but the end of the case we didn't do it together. Elazar has everyone after the other sequentially. Mail down the Caesar club kumus. So until you put the fire, it's nothing. The guy says, "Orlav klumu." And even putting the fire by itself is nothing because you need to have the fuel of the wood, otherwise it's going to continue to die out. But Shabbos says in that case, the person brings the fire is chai because of mavir, because he brings the coal from place to place, it becomes hotter because of the wind while he's walking. So it's chai because of mavir, not because of mevashel, but because of igniting, because it's going to get hotter and hotter as he goes. Back to Arukh HaShulchan. Achiv was the last two guys. Shachan is or after you put down the fire. When Misha sign the tzeitzim, that means Misha, the person puts down the fuel. Misha is the person who mixes. Zeu derech katei sefta. Then that's being to sefta. The Shabbat has to give here. One person puts the wood, another person brings the fire. Another person comes and stirs. The last two people are chayiv. Okay? Well, why? It's obviously he holds at that point. Those are the primary meisim. Bringing the fire and stirring. Okay, back to Arukh HaShulchan. What Beitza Isa Aaron chayiv? When it says the last guy is chayiv, Ein Shom Yesh Yashiv Shol Yistor Beitza. We have to resolve it so it doesn't contradict the Raisa. How do we do that? Shol Yistor the Sefta. Mishul the Begmar Amar Shevi Oil Basel. Gemara brought the fire at the end. Come on, I'll let him put it on top of it. Lachem back by Urchayev. If only that last guy is chayev. Ayin Sham. Means that here Kozel in the brackets Kozel Mati B'Divya Ri Beirav Shevi Akes the Mishnah. And that is from Ri Beirav. Gemara Sham Omer Amida is clear. Gemara says so he puts on the pot. Ein Chiv Rak B'Derech Chadosh. It's only chayev with a new pot. So it's like Liban L'Chaska, which requires extreme heat in order to temper it. Ayin Sham. The Chiv Magis and the Chiv of the person who's stirring. Those are the only first stirrers chayev. The other ones afterwards, they're not so effective for the cooking. Only asur b'rabbanan, not the raisa. That's the Ramban for Rash Bazal. The brackets he says here, that's the Mega Mishnah, but he says tzarchil pizeh perek yudches, the perek ham yudches on base, perek v'nei Hashem a megispa. I was concerned maybe because we're going to mixing with it. My question was the question. Maybe we're going to shigisa about pamachas. We don't know. Maybe we're talking about where you already mixing from before Shabbos. So he says no, that's not an issue because the obligation because of tzaveh. Much because the taste on Shabbat. Tzvi b'chol pam shemegas and dying can take effect every time you mix. Ayin v'duk. Hey, Bimenachos means ba'er. From Menachos becomes clear. The Sheniach, the Shabbos, basar gab echon. When on Shabbos you put meat on top of on top of the coals. In his bashul bishul gomer became completely cooked. You're definitely chayiv. I feel his bashul tzad echon. It was only cooked on one side. By the side the two side which is on the fire. No special rak machal ben Yisrael. It only became cooked. The sheer machal ben Yisrael. Shlish bishul Rashi, which is the third of its overall cooking, according to Rashi and Tosfos. And chayiv rak she'iter bo. You're only chayiv when you did turn it over. And these bashim and they tzaddik machal ben Yisrael. And both sides cook machal ben Yisrael. So if it's complete cooking, one side's not. If it's machal ben Yisrael, you need both sides. Ukamshir bishul. How much is the measure of bishul? So that's large fake. The ein gogeres mokum echad, even it's scattered. There isn't that volume in one place. El mashu kam, it's a little bit here, a little bit there. Mitzvah makes you obligated in terms of your obligation. Zel and a single pair of Rashi to some. This is the derivative. This is what comes out from Kusuli according to Rashi and places. Vav aval Rambam shalom kosav. Inech basal gabi l'cholim. Rambam if you're right. If you put meat on top of coals, in nitzleh bo kilogeres. If you have fried and roasted it the size of kilogeres, I feel it becomes even in 2 or 3 places. Chayiv, you're liable. Lo yisrael bo kilogeres. If you didn't roast the size of a kilogeres, it's bashal kulo chatzi bishul, but all became half cooked. Chayiv. This bashal chatzi bishul mitzad echad became half cooked only one side. Potter, exempt. Until it's cooked halfway on both sides. The Ram sober b'chol makom machal b'jusay chatzi bishul. Ram the whole time the machal b'jusay is not a third but half of the cooking. V'nei b'hareisho et sefer ze'ava k'peirush Rashi and Tosfos. So the end, first law and the last law according to interpretation Rashi and Tosfos. Amashkos have only special kulo chatzi bishul chayav. That's the case where he writes if it's cooked halfway it's chayav. Ain't a woman. It's hard to understand. Then when also chatzi bishul ain't no chayav because it's el b'kulo. If it means to say if it's only half cooked, you only chayav always half cooked, not just the size of a large steak. Where do you get it from? The nearest Shaditya came Moshe Sas. Perhaps seen furthest from the language of the Shas, Midkamer Mitzad Echad, Kamachal Mejusoy, from one side Machal Mejusoy is enough, the state's time, and from both sides it's not. And it says if it's roasted sides of Gogeres, you are chayav and sham. Shmamina can this include Machal Mejusoy low dai ki Gogeres. By Machal Mejusoy, the size of Gogeres not enough to make you chayav. Mishum la bishul gomor because it's not true bishul. Comes over Temu. Nevertheless, the whole thing is astonishing how exactly this works, which is true. He says in the brackets near the Shazel Kavanas Hasogos Ramach, Shalikas Mishnah Sham, and then the Ramach also is confused here. Kas Mishnah Tafas, Shaskos Mishnah the Makor Tafas, Kas Mishnah Sud. That's promised they didn't know the source. The Dover came on that seems astonishing. But the question is how to understand this halacha. Ayin Shamduk, see that, and you'll understand. Mishnah adds. That it seems that according to Rambam, it's not the size of fig, but it has to specifically be both sides of the meat. So this whole thing is left a little bit cryptic here. I'm not sure if the Arukh HaShulchan is going to resolve it, but those are the breaks.